You're listening to Movie Reviews and More with Brian Sebastian, only on LA Talk Radio.
Hey, it's Brian Sebastian, Movie Reviews and More. Here we are live. And again, it is October. It's mid-October already. Wow, there's a lot of stuff going on today and this week. And I want to welcome everybody into the studio. Thank you, everybody around the world who watches. Want to thank Tsingtao, our beer sponsor. Want to thank Provincial Vodka out of Canada, which is great. And we will have a little bit of announcements later on for them coming for the Maximum Halloween Party 2017 this weekend in Los Angeles. It's going to be 3,000 people there. Let's get right down to it. Back off of tour, Victoria Renee Plummer. We have Kat Lopez from Kat Lopez TV. See, I got it right, Kat, from yesterday.
Yes, thank you.
We got Mark Branson in from REMO Drum Heads. Mark, thank you for coming down. I get to talk to someone about drum and bugle corps besides talking about myself, because I'm a drum corps nut. We have Natalie Burn, and I haven't talked to Natalie in like 3 years. And the last time we saw each other, we were talking about one of your other films, and I'm so glad that you're here.
I'm so glad to be here.
And we have my other good friend. I always like to have her announce herself. Go ahead, because she doesn't get enough credit.
Hello, my name is Ruxanda. I originally come from Romania, and I'm a dancer, singer. I've been here before with Brian. Thank you so much for having me here.
You know why I like to have her announce herself? Because I can't pronounce her name the way she pronounces it.
I knew you were going to say that.
That's really what it is. Plus, it just rolls off of her tongue.
Yeah, literally rolls.
That too. Anyhow, let's get down to it. Let's start with Natalie. Natalie, you've been having a lot of things coming up, and I saw your demo reel not too long. Actually, I saw it yesterday, and I was laughing my ass off because it was funny. I liked it.
Because it was
comedy.
About
that. Talk about that.
For
You're not known
once.
as a comedian,
I'm
are
not.
you? But you
I'm
have a sense of humor.
I hope so.
No, you do.
Ta-da!
You do. You
no,
do.
I mean, I guess people see me as an action actress, which I like to do. Like you saw my movie Awaken, I kick ass, right?
You did. You did kick ass in
and,
that.
and I like doing that. I like to be busy. I'm an ex-dancer, choreographer, so I like to continue, working out and staying fit. It's a part of my lifestyle. But I also love comedies, and I've always wanted to be in a really good comedy. So I kind of like put myself in, a couple of movies here and there, have small parts here and there. Actually, I have a movie now in Turkey that's in movie theaters called I Love You Too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's on my demo reel.
Is it coming over here now, or is it just playing there right now?
I hope so, but not. It was mainly made for Turkey, so
Okay.
you gotta go to Turkey to watch it.
You never know.
Make a trip out of it. It's in movie theaters, so hey.
Yeah, obviously, we were talking earlier, you, myself and Mark, about stuff that I felt that you don't get enough credit on the stuff that you really do because of how you started. And in Hollywood, everybody likes to loop everybody into loopholes. Like Victoria,
right.
She might want to act. She can act, but she's known as a singer, right?
I do act. I'm in a couple movies.
See,
on
and
HBO
again,
right
if you
now.
don't talk to people, how will anybody know?
Yeah.
That's the whole thing about everything.
Well, I feel like that's why we're here right now, so we can just promote ourselves. Some people can get tired of us. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's all about that. And see, and as my Tsingtao sponsor just brought us some beer. How great is that?
Yay.
So anyhow, you just got back into the US, so she was all happy. And she texted me because she booked the show at least a month and a half ago. We booked, didn't we?
Right.
She's like, don't put anybody else. And look how many people we have on.
That's amazing.
Talk about coming back here, and I want you to cheat into this mic because I need to hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, so I was in Europe this little vacation, I would say. I've visited 4 countries. I've been to Italy, where my parents reside, Norway, Sweden, and Moldova. This is my original country coming from. What can I say? Overall, it was a very good experience to detach from LA, but I missed it so much.
What did you miss about it?
Always.
She missed the
Yeah.
weather.
Oh my God!
Well, yeah, you did.
For the lifestyle.
Duh.
Every time I go back to Indiana, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so glad I grew up here, but wow, I really couldn't live here again.
Exactly.
It's right. It's the same
Yes.
thing. And once you get used to this pace, you can't not have this pace. It's just
Right.
different. Yeah.
And my body is just reacting to this weather really good.
Yeah.
The humidity over there is like
Oh my God, when I was on tour, I literally felt like God was choking me. I'm like,
Yeah.
Memphis, you are really humid. And I love it. I love the people. I felt like a movie set. Like everyone was
That's
just
funny.
everyone was just sat over the top, real nice, she like. And I was like, wow, you guys are awesome. But this weather, Because when you get used to living in a desert, like, because essentially it's what we do.
It's different.
It's hard to go back.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But good, but necessary.
Exactly.
Right? You need to go back to your
You
home
can
base.
appreciate where we live at.
That's
now.
right.
Right.
No, we do, don't we? I mean, it's important. I mean, I've always seen the photos. She always takes a lot of photos. We talked about your social media last time you were on. Talk about that.
Yes. So I'm working on merging them and trying to make it easier to work with. But you know, the more I put, and I was told by some friends that they work in marketing, and they said that, you know, the content has to be less and quality, like something that really expresses who you are as an artist, not just some, you know, random, that not for us, at least as artists. It's very important to be picky about what you post, and fans and people that you know find it interesting, they will be intrigued to know more about you and to wait for what you want to post next. As far as, you know, the culture and everything that's going on in Europe right now, because of the events that lately, you know, with terrorism and all these things that have
It's been a lot
affected.
tougher, yes.
Yes, even here, you know, happened recently some things. So it's a little, I would say, risky to travel, because I honestly, like, when I go to an airport, for me, it's like, oh, well, I'm a little freaked out about, you know, traveling right now. But you know,
because of like the passport thing. And, and like the green card
the
and
scanner.
Oh my
like
God,
with
that
the
is like,
security.
for us
Yeah.
that we're not from this country, it's like so hard right now because
Oh yeah.
that's what I was
even
thinking.
for me, even for me, like I've been waiting for, I'm a permanent resident and I lost my green card. And
Oh.
yes,
Oh.
and I had to send.
We're gonna have to kick you
places.
out.
You know how long it's taking? Like more than a year.
Wait, how how does one lose a green card?
How did
Well,
I'm sorry, I don't know anything about it.
No,
I'm
yeah,
just-
but they said they were gonna email it. They were gonna mail it,
Right.
and I never received it in the mail.
Oh, you mean you
Oh
physically
my.
lost your green
physically
card?
didn't get it.
Oh,
Got
wow.
it.
And they sent me a new one apparently, and it's been a year, and I still don't have it. So I can't leave the country.
That's frustrating.
This
Yeah,
is
that's
really.
I'm stuck.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow, that's
And
that's,
right now
that's
with-
At least
tough.
you're stuck in LA.
Yeah.
And
I
we-
have
There could be worse places.
And that-
Yes.
Yeah.
There could be worse places.
Somewhere else.
Hey, Mark, coming down from I almost wanted to say up north, but it's not up north. It's REMO.
Yeah.
Talk about why you're here, because I wanted to have you here. We both marched in Drummer Beagle Corps, which is my favorite love, and I love to donate money to the cause. And drummers bang harder on REMO drum heads.
Yes.
So I have to say that. But talk about that, because you work year round, and you guys and all the stuff that you're doing.
Absolutely. It's crazy. The season it never ends. It's continually from what you talk about, DCI into fall marching band into indoor season, and just continues. It's a full cycle now.
Yeah.
Absolutely, 100%. There's no downtime in between. The growth has been huge with high schools and things like that, just to continue to grow, and now it's growing like crazy in Asia.
I know,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
really world renowned now. When
Yeah.
DCI was like, well, it was called DCI International, but it
Right.
really is international.
Absolutely.
And one of the things I liked about what we all do, we are all performers in one way or another. We are
Right.
all singers and dancers. And I think that for me, being in DCI and marching in the summers in the heat and cornfields in Indianapolis and in Ohio and
Nebraska,
stuff like
Iowa,
that,
yep.
and traveling 10,000 miles in a month and a half, that's grueling.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
you know what it's like
Yeah.
to be on stage, and you two know what it's like to act
Yeah.
and sing, and Kat, you know, coming from another country, it's not easy. So again, I like to also donate a lot of money to kids performing on football fields,
Yeah.
because arts are a lost art. It's the first thing to go when it comes to
Yep.
schools,
You're
and that's
right.
very, very sad.
It's very
Yeah.
frustrating.
And it shouldn't be, because art is so important. That, I mean, it's everybody, I think, you know, from a child, when you're 4 or 5, wants to build something or create something. So whatever that is, you know, and eventually as you get older, you know, that you kind of want to manifest into something like that. So it's sad that in schools that tends to be less funded than other things, because if there was a way to fund that better and facilitate that, just what people would become, because they'd have that opportunity.
Kids need that
Yeah.
for an outlet. Like what I don't know what I would do if I didn't have, music and dance, and if I couldn't get out my emotions via art, like, well, I don't,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But like, I'm an adult who has the connections to do those things now, but as a kid, all you have is school. And if that's just stripped out from underneath you, then you don't really have a ground to walk on, and that's why they started doing just like, I don't know, maybe weird stuff. Like you need to have an outlet, and art is the best.
If I hadn't had drum and bugle corps when I was growing up, I would be in prison. I know that for a fact.
Wow.
And I've all say that. No, I know it would be true.
Yeah.
So that's why I love drum and bugle corps. And I've talked to kids in inner city schools, and if you don't have instruments or something to teach you how to, I talk to rappers about this. Even if you can rap, play me something.
There's a
And
reason
none
that
of them
there's-
can play an instrument.
Right.
That's why I loved
Yeah.
Prince. At least he can play 23
yeah.
instruments.
And
Played it all.
incredible. But there's a reason why there's so many movies made about this subject. Like,
Yeah.
oh, it's a school with the art project like just completely diminished, and then this crazy artist who was on drugs and got kicked off their tour came to the school and helped. Like, there's so many movies about it because it's a real thing.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Obviously, you're passionate about Victoria, aren't you?
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
talk about your tour.
Okay, yeah. So I went to.
And before you left, we were hyping up your song, weren't you?
Yes.
And then what happened? I had to remind her about her song.
Oh, yeah.
And then
I'm not great at self-promoting. I feel weird about it, but
that's
I appreciate
okay.
it.
Me either.
Yeah, but no, it's doing really well. It's charting right now. I'm really excited about that. I'm going to be featured April 10th for a week on Reverb Nation's homepage.
Good.
Which is they're like one of the largest music libraries in the world. So I'm really excited about that. There's like 5 million subscribers. So
That's great.
that I'm really, really, really honored to be able to be featured on their homepage. And then I made a front page news in Alabama. I performed at the St. Jude Luncheon, Memphis. I went to Graceland. I performed at the Graceland XM radio station, the
I
Elvis
saw that.
Radio.
That was a good
at
shot.
over 20 million
I was glad that we
listeners.
prepared you for that.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, I do this all the time. Don't worry. I wasn't expecting them to ask me to sing, but yeah, it was cool. Yeah, so I got to sing on that, on the Loft XM radio, and then
good.
we went to Alabama. I performed at a private event for Northwest Mutual. They're St. Jude supporters.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Did you take the private tour to Graceland for Edie?
Jack Sodom, the CEO of Graceland, yeah, he got us, like, he waived everything and was just, he's known Edie since she was 20 years old. And
I
she's
want to take that
66.
tour. Okay, so we have to
Yeah.
talk about Edie.
Yeah.
Edie is like my southern mom. Well, what is
She's-
Edie to you?
Edie is my mother-in-law.
Okay, and she's Elvis Presley's cousin.
Yes.
Wow.
So
Wow.
she used to do everything with Elvis.
So it was incredible because, there's the VIP tour and then there's the VIP tour.
That's the tour I told I wanted
There's
to
the
take.
VIP tour where someone who actually stayed at Graceland babysat Elvis's Lisa Marie and was like, I know that car. She was trying to drive it and she was 4 and I was babysitting her. Her dad was going to kill me. And I was like, no, Lisa Marie, you can't drive the golf cart. Like, just like, just those kinds of things. And there's just like what they're not telling you is that there's this room in here because,
Yes.
and that's where I would stay. And then this happened here, and that just things that no one would know unless they stayed at Graceland. And it was actually really incredible. I'll
So
be
when
honest.
you hear about Elvis sandwiches, Edie used to make Elvis the sandwiches.
Oh, she made us one. Yeah.
Wow.
Mm,
She's
yeah.
making me one. She will be here November 21st.
You guys, this is not a joke. There's fried banana sandwiches, peanut butter, banana, honey, I think. I don't know how she made it, but they were incredible.
Sounds delicious.
It was really good.
So
Yeah.
going to Graceland, you went to St. Jude's Hospital, which is my favorite charity.
Yes,
Goes back to
yes.
Danny Thomas, St. Jude's Invitational. That's where I
Yes.
discovered it.
And-
that's where our hookup came.
Yeah.
From that.
Amazing.
So Danny Thomas's daughter Terry Thomas is Link's godmother.
Right.
So the St. Jude connection is really deep in our family. And so obviously I wanted to donate the proceeds to my song to St. Jude.
What's the song?
A Better Tomorrow. It's on iTunes and all streaming platforms.
And I'll tell you why it's important, because it was a film. Edie and I and Link met on a small little yacht, which was actually a boat, with Eric Zuley. You have to give credit to Eric Zuley for that. And we became friends. There was just, I didn't want to go. I brought 2 of the girls. Brett and Jennifer Henry came with me. And Link's freezing like this. He's got this thing over, and you don't know Link Ham, look him up. He's in the movie 42. He's a great guy. He's
He's
new
on
shows.
Fox on Ghosted right now, 6 o'clock on Sundays.
And that Edie is his mom. And they were sitting there, and I'm like, I don't want to be here. And then all of a sudden, someone introduced me to Brian from Hollywood Film Festival, and then Edie said, I got a movie. And I'm like, is it any good? And we've been friends ever since, because everybody says the movie is good, don't they? Right. Well, your movie was good.
And I didn't
Her
say
movie
that.
was good. And the song that she sang in the movie was good, and Link did the voiceover, and that's how we connected. And then we did our December Hollywood Film Festival. Festival where she sang, and we had everybody.
Chinese theater.
Yeah.
It was so
That's where
fun.
all this stuff came from. And I said, when I come back on the radio, this is what's going to be, and that's how everything led to everything.
Yeah.
So it goes back to when you and I met. So that's why I wanted to meet.
I also sang the song for my movie.
Oh, really?
Yes, exactly.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's on iTunes, Awaken Keys. Yeah, Natalie Burn.
What is it called?
It's called Awaken.
Awaken.
Yeah.
The
It was
song
like
is?
the song and the film. Yeah, the track I basically recorded.
How do
for
we
the
see
film.
your film? Is it on Netflix?
It's,
or?
yeah, it's on.
It is on Netflix, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
It's very good.
It's on Showtime.
Wow.
People like still calling me, telling me like, "Oh my God, I just saw you on TV." I'm like, "Oh,
Oh,
that's
I
cool."
love it.
Yeah, it was in
I'm gonna
Redbox
watch
for a
it,
while.
for
so.
sure.
Fantastic.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness, we're gonna check it out.
Isn't that
Yeah.
fun when people can say, hey, I've caught up with your movie? Because that's
Yes.
what's great with that.
You did. I'm so happy. Yeah, because now you know I can kick ass. Now you can be very.
I always knew it.
Oh,
I
did
always
you now,
knew.
Did you? Because when we were talking, you're like, I don't know what she's talking about. That's great. Whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Because,
like,
you know,
"This
I don't
sounds
want to
great."
champion a movie if I haven't seen it, because
Right.
people will say something. I went to go see a movie and the taste sucked. No, I don't want to do that. But again, going back to St. Jude's Hospital, it came from the Danny Thomas Invitational from me being in Drum and Bugle Corps. That's what that connection came to. So it was just like a strong fit for that. And then when you went to Indianapolis, you hooked up and you went back home and you were like,
I did. I had a show the same day I came home to LA, actually. And then, I did a show in Indiana. I got to see my family for a little bit because that was awesome. They live in Indiana. I'm from Indiana. So I got to hang out with them. I did a show, and then I came home. I had a show the same day. Yeah. I'm tired still. But it was so
and your friends were happy to see you. I was happy for that. And the reason we all take photos ahead of time, because some people like, 2 photos was enough. No, they were talking about your shoes, and they would been talking about your dress, and they want you to go back to Indianapolis, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. So I've got a lot more shows lined up. I'm really excited for.
That's good.
It's going to be fun.
And Kat Lopez, we hung out last week, didn't we? We had fun at the Hollywood Bowl.
Oh my God, yeah, it was a great experience.
And that
We
was
each
for
had
Nat Geo.
one bottle of wine.
No, we didn't. We had
You
more than
each
that.
had a piece.
Look at that.
We
What did
had
you guys
more
do?
than that. We went to an event for National Geographic. It was for the Jane Goodall movie called Jane,
Jane is
which
a
opens
documentary
October 20th.
about,
Go ahead, you can talk about it.
Chimpanzees.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she talks
Chimps?
about how, chimps, and she talks about how she went to the jungle by herself and she started trying to study chimps and their behavior, and then eventually she became part of the family and she was playing with the little chimps and she was part of the family, and then
Oh,
she fell in love and then she had kids, but it was like a jungle type.
And she was
love
25
story.
years
It's
old.
Jane from Tarzan is who we're talking about.
Well, you could say that.
Would
Right?
that be
You
it?
could say that in a way. But Jane Goodall is her name. And she's still alive.
It's
and
a
she still
beautiful
looks good.
documentary. I cried. It was
Oh,
beautiful.
Oh, it's
yeah.
a documentary?
Yeah,
It is.
a
It's very, very good.
documentary.
It airs this Friday
Yeah.
Cool.
on National Geographic, which will be good.
Is it a true story?
It's true story. Yeah.
about her life.
She's
Yeah.
the reason we know about chimpanzees and gorillas is because of Jane Goodall.
Mm-hmm.
She went at the age of 25, knew nothing. She didn't go to college or anything like that. She just went out and studied.
Apes?
Yeah.
That's all she did.
That's
Mhm.
cool.
Seriously.
But
like,
then
Still
how
doing
it,
it.
it makes sense to, to create what she did.
yeah.
Yeah, still doing it. So we had box seats and it was fun sitting there. And again, I wouldn't have had fun if I didn't have, Gio and Tracy there. I would have been maybe bored sitting there enjoying all this great food by myself. It's not fun. You got to share it with people.
Yeah.
And we
It's
had
a
fun.
lot more special when you have people that you care about to share it with.
Well, I didn't say I cared about them, but
Oh,
you know,
wow.
at least we shared it
So,
together.
so many flavors. He chooses salty.
But we had fun, so that was the most important thing. But
Yeah.
but thank you to Net Geo. We talked about it last week with Zoriana, and it was fun. I love Net Geo stuff.
I do too. So
But
cool.
Yeah.
and then you had just gotten back into town, so you would have been there. We would have got you drunk. So
Me?
yeah,
You will never see me drunk.
this is true.
You don't drink?
You don't. Well, I do, but I just don't drink till like
She has to get up at
Drunk.
5 each morning.
I get up really early. I've been up since 4:30 a.m.
You
today.
tell them why you have to get up at 5.
Because I train with my fiance in the gym, and we it's just feels good to get up and get it done, and like get so many other things done before most people have even gotten up. You know, I'm already
Right.
showered and done most things that most people do for the rest. It just feels good for me to get it done, because if I wait till the end of the day to work out, I'll usually find an excuse not to.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm the
Yes.
same way.
Yeah,
I have to go in the morning,
Yeah.
or I won't go at all.
Right. I have to go in the morning.
Talk about singing, you three. What's it like to sing? Victoria first.
What's it like to sing? That's the most vague question in history. It's good. It's amazing. It's kind of therapeutic to me. I mean, not to like take this to like a weird, like deeper level, but there is actually something to having resonance coming out of your body that's healing. That's why there's like gong therapy, like the boom, you know, the resonance from it. It feels. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It just feels really good. And then taking that and being a performer on top of that, and being on stage and being able to share basically your diary for the world to see. And then people accepting it, and not even accepting it, but enjoying it and liking it is just, it's a feeling that you really can't put into words.
Natalie.
I would say it feels like clearing your throat.
Oh, that's a good way to put it. I like that.
I like that.
I like
I
that.
don't know. I mean, like, I just, I love music. I was a ballerina since I'm 3 years old. So
Right.
I'm so connected to, to different kind of tones and tunes and music. And I love instruments, and I love exploring and finding different ways to put things together. So I get inspired when I hear music. So that's what I want to do. I want to kind of inspire people through not just my movies, but also, you know, a music, a song that I put together in there. And I feel like, because I'm an actress and I'm a dancer, I feel like that's the way of me to connect to the audience and maybe make them understand what I'm creating and
100%.
bring them into my world and
Very
see if
well
they can
said.
get it.
You know what's funny about
I
that?
still think clearing the throat is better, but
No, I like that. It's like, let me clear my throat. You talk about that, and all of a sudden, you throw your leg up, and I'm like, I forgot she's a ballerina.
ballerina.
You do all of that,
Ballet
yeah.
dancer.
ballet.
Yeah.
Dancer, ballerina.
I wish I could
is-
clear my throat like you guys do, but I'm so bad at singing. I'm like, no.
You sing in the
better
shower.
not.
Sing in the shower.
In the
Yeah.
shower, that's it.
I hum drum corps all the time.
There you go.
I know what singing is for you because she calls me at like 1, 2, and 3 in the morning.
Yeah, I
Come
always
watch me
contact
perform.
people late because of my shows.
I
So I
actually
come
And I
Sorry,
answer, and I
amazing.
respond back to her too.
Yeah.
Brian. So
Oh my God.
I used to work at a restaurant, and she came to the restaurant.
Oh,
and
she
she
did?
was singing
Yeah, yeah, this is
at
how
the
I-
restaurant. So that's
Really?
how I know you.
No way.
When was
Yes.
this?
That was a
This
while
was like a
ago.
year
Yeah.
or something ago.
That's so
a long
funny.
time ago. So when I saw her, I'm like, I know you, girl.
Oh my
I
God.
know.
And I look at you and I'm
Was
like,
she
she's
any good
familiar.
though?
She was amazing.
Oh,
love
She
it.
was really good. It was like a karaoke night or
yes,
something.
yes, yes.
What
We were
kind?
with friends there and just having fun.
What
And I-
kind of music do you do?
Mine is more EDM.
No way, really?
Yeah, and
Oh.
I focus to implement some folk elements from back my culture. From
Okay.
home. But I'm getting more to the direction of the EDM because I'm a dancer as well.
Yeah.
So I do ballroom. I'm a ballroom dancer, and I was with
Cool.
my dance partner that night too. This is how she's like, "You were with your dance partner." I say, "Oh, you remember that too? That's
Yeah.
amazing."
Yeah.
Be
That's
Careful
awesome.
what you do around
What?
town.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Like, I remember you.
LA is like LA. We're so many, but in the same time, I feel like
Yeah.
we're in a
keep
small
meeting our
circle.
It's
It's
the
very
biggest
small
small
circle.
city in the world.
That's true.
Yes.
It is.
Not just in the world. I go to Cannes and I bump into the same people.
Nah,
I go
that's
to
for sure.
Europe. I go to Europe and I keep seeing the same people. I'm like,
Oh
what?
my
Because
God.
the industry that
industry's
we're
small.
in is so small.
We're
Yeah.
very
And all the successful people are here, so I don't know.
Oh,
That's
this,
about it.
This actually happened to me. So I do red carpet interviews too, and I was invited to the show, Think and Grow Rich, the documentary. And I was interviewing, and I interviewed Barbara, the lady from Shark Tank.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And she's like, I know you. Well, she has seen me before working at a restaurant too. And I'm
my
like, you
God.
see how the world
way.
spins?
That's-
Like I was.
What did she
serving
say? What are you
one
doing here?
animal.
Yeah,
Right.
she's like, what are you doing here? You're
No, she was
in
like,
a restaurant
oh my God,
right now.
I totally remember your face. I'm like,
Wow.
oh, so
This is
sad.
so sweet.
Especially
Yeah.
someone like her who sees a gazillion people a day.
Right.
That's really cool that she remembered you and was just
Yeah.
like, you know.
It's an honor.
hey,
I felt
know
so
you.
special.
You are
Well, you are
special.
special.
You marked somehow.
She's
my
a
memory.
special
Yeah.
little snowflake right behind me.
That's funny.
Aw.
That's funny.
As
All right.
far as singing, I wanted to tell you about the singing part. I find it something very special. I don't compare it to anything. Why? Because when we sing, I have a friend that she does meditation and she's connected with the beyond energies, and she studies a lot. And she says that when we sing, she hears me because she's my neighbor. She hears me a lot singing. So she's like, "Girl, you're amazing." You're like,
I bet all of our neighbors are like,
"Oh yeah," they're like,
There she goes.
I never
sometimes
thought
I'm
about
doing
that.
my warm up and I'm like, probably they're like so sick of these exercises. And each time when I meet them, I'm like, I apologize if I'm loud. And she's like, don't worry, we like you. It's great. You sound amazing. I'm like, I can't imagine what she thinks when I start all those runs. But this is what she told me, that when we sing, we connect with a beyond force.
Yeah.
Oh.
And
Sound vibration.
it's exactly, and we exchange energy between the earth and the beyond energy out there in the universe. So this is why that explains the feeling that I have when I sing. I can't compare it to anything really. I feel like I go to a place where my worries go away, my other things that are pressuring me are not there for that second, for that minute.
Yeah.
It
You
kind
can't
of-
be sad and be singing. Like you just
Yes.
everything is just kind of channeled into that one moment. And it's
Like,
so awesome.
I'm not a professional
Yes.
singer or anything, but I like to sing too, to like release energy.
Right,
And
exactly.
it brings you to presence. Like it connects you to yourself and like
That's right.
taps into your emotions and what that song means
It's
to
a
you.
very
It's just
intimate, I would
beautiful.
say, intimate experience
Yeah,
with
it's
yourself,
very
with your
intimate.
spiritual world.
100%. I think art in general is a spiritual deal. I mean, it's just it's like God kind of being, you're a channel for creativity, and that it just kind of flows through you, whether it's music or dance or painting or hosting or whatever it may be, writing, you know.
Yes, exactly. And
It's
as artists, I meet a lot of singers, songwriters, producers, just like
course.
you do, and there is this tendency to have this narcissism, and for me makes absolutely no sense. I don't understand that, because what we have is from above. This is a gift, okay? So we have to use this gift to give to people something that they would maybe find to learn from or relate to, or just enjoy it, have a good experience about what you're doing for them, right? Others, they think that this is for themselves, and so I did this, I'm so great, and
They
I'm
do
gonna
it for
get-
fame, and we're doing
Right.
it
and for money
selflessly.
too. Like,
Yeah.
of course you have to make a living, obviously, but I don't really understand when it comes to the point where, I'm famous and because I did this. I don't get it. For me, if you do this, you have to do it because you love it, because this is
Absolutely.
your passion, this is your life.
Well, I don't think most artists usually will do it for money because we would have gone into the medical industry.
Oh yeah, right.
Okay,
Yeah.
there's a lot of better ways to get rich other than being an artist.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the money. It's like we all did this at one point because we love it, because it makes us feel good, and it changed our lives in some way, and we want to give back and change other people's lives the way that it did for us.
True.
Yeah.
Give us your website. How can people reach out to you? Where do they find
It's
you?
Ruxanda.com. So Ruxan. That's a name.
See, you love how she says her name, don't you?
D-A. Ruxanda.
Oh, I love that. Oh my God, that's just great how you say that. Say it again,
Ruxanda.
Ruxanda.
Natalie.
I'm a German spy. She's not even German, by the way.
I guess like the easiest way to reach me is on Natalie Official on Facebook and my Instagram, Natalie-Burn. But I want to say something real quick about my new movie that's coming out.
Oh, yes.
It's called The Lagoon, and I want to shoot it next year. And the reason why I came up with it is because I went to Puerto Rico right before the hurricane. And I was fortunate to see the beautiful nature and the amazing, scenery and the people that they can offer, and the food is great. So it was so sad that when I came back, right, like several days after the hurricane happened.
Oh wow.
And and I was with my friend, like a writer as well. So we saw his family, and everybody's like, his family's homes just got destroyed. I mean, the places that we've been right now, it's just they're shattered. And so I came up with this idea. There's a place that actually exists there. We went on this lagoon. It's called the Devil's Lagoon, and it's a bioluminescent bay where you can touch it with your hand, and it glows like crystals.
No way.
Yeah, it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life.
What?
I think I actually saw this in
There's
a movie.
only 6 lagoons like that exist, and 4 of them are in Puerto Rico.
Oh wow.
So I
I
decided.
didn't know that.
Did they
So-
get ruined?
I mean, you can't, like, right now it's so hard to go there. They don't have electricity. You can't stay in places. It's just destroyed. So I decided to come up with this great concept. Another thing that I'm trying to get an awareness for is cancer. So I have this researcher who basically was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and she goes to Puerto Rico to find a cure. And there's this other doctor in Puerto Rico that finds that he actually found supposedly a cure through this lagoon, and it's a fungus that grows inside the lagoon, and you can basically get it by yourself. And if you get it yourself, if you go into the forest and get this fungus from this lagoon by yourself, then you can pretty much cure your own self. But
How?
But you have
by
to
ingesting it.
by ingest. Yeah, he basically turns it into a formula, and it's only
Is
once.
this true? Or this is created?
It's
Oh,
partially
okay,
fictional,
okay,
obviously. That's the
fictional.
movie that I'm
Okay.
raising the
I'm
money
like,
for
what?
right
I
now.
need to go I'm gonna go
I know,
there
right?
and get that fungus.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's like it's a cool concept. But because the lagoon actually does exist, it's called the Devil's Lagoon. It comes from like the Indians and the place that those microorganisms that you don't know the truth of it. You don't really know like how did it come to it? Like why is it glowing and stuff? So basically, like my character like that I'll be playing. The scientist, she goes there and she's been told that you can go to the forest, but your soul has to be pure, and that's the only trick. If you don't have a pure soul, then this fungus will work against you and you will die even faster.
That's cool.
Then you have to clear your soul, girl.
Is it similar to the pink lagoon in Australia? Is that what that is? That is like an. Have you seen that? There's like it looks like a big giant lake that was like neon pink color, and I was like, this has to be. I thought it was fake,
No,
but it's because there's
six of
some
them.
sort of like a microorganism.
Microorganisms that they glow.
yeah.
You touch them and you feel like diamonds.
Is that what they
rushing through
feel
your hand.
like?
They
Oh
feel
wow!
amazing. So I'm trying to raise like some of the funds right now that I'm missing on Indiegogo, so you can guys
Awesome.
please
Okay.
go
And they can reach out
check
to
it
you
out.
how?
You can reach it's igg.me @ the lagoon. And please
Do you
check
have
out
a
all the
script?
information. We have the script, we have the director, we have the teaser that we shot.
Awesome.
I know
So
somebody.
we're literally
I might be able to get you
Yeah?
in contact with an executive producer.
That'd be awesome.
I mean, I don't promise anything, but
That's fine.
I'll
you can't promise
I can
anything.
set
in
an
this world.
No.
appointment,
But you never
a
know.
meeting,
Yeah.
and then
Exactly.
But
It
it's
goes
like I'm
from there.
just check. I'm offering like parts to people, and like I want to I want to make it a collaborative effort, and I'm raising money. Like, partially.
Me.
I know, right? Well, donate the money, girl. Duh. Whatever. No, I'm just kidding.
You gotta pay.
Yeah,
to be in the movie.
pay to play.
No,
but that in reverse. So it's not pay to play, like the company will pay
I know,
you
right?
regardless if it goes or not. You're actually paying them to be in it.
Yeah.
Well,
I like it.
We're also like trying to help Puerto Rico itself.
That's
and
amazing.
cancer.
Yeah.
And, I'm personally gonna go to like some cancer hospitals with kids and just
You
spend
should get
time
involved
there.
with the. You said you're a singer, right?
Mm-hmm.
You should get involved with the Lollipop program at St. Jude. It's Singers Go. We write kids with the.
Mm-hmm.
We write kids. No.
I'm like, wait,
we
what?
write songs.
I'm like,
Hold on. We write songs with the kids, and we'll record it and they'll get a CD of the song that they wrote. They're usually really just funny and silly song because we're all writing it together. But it's so fun, and again, it's an amazing creative outlet for the kids because no matter what you're going through, it does make you feel better to sing. It's important, or however you need to get it out.
Because in my movie, like I have some kids that
the Lollipop program,
that will be active. So there you go. That's one of the things that I'm like trying to help out.
Yeah, that is
We have to make sure people
Absolutely.
reach out to that, which is most important. Mark, you were talking earlier about artistic kids and drumming and stuff like that, almost feeding back to things. I thought that was interesting. I didn't know about that and why REMO's involved with that.
Yeah, well, we have a whole side of the company outside of drum heads where we make percussion instruments, drums, djembes, tubanos, kids instruments that are designed for special needs people, kids with autism, so they have a low volume, a low tone, because an autistic kid, they don't like loud noises.
Right.
They freak out, and so everything is made so they can still enjoy music.
So cool.
And so we're able to go into hospitals and schools and all these places where there's special need kids and autistic kids and facilitate all that, and it's just an amazing thing that happens on this other half of our company that like nobody see in the music world. You don't see that,
Right.
right?
I didn't know about
How
that.
do they react to it? Are they scared? Or
I don't know because I've never personally been, but from my understand, it's always a hit. So
That's
and as far as I know, it's like we have programs where it becomes an annual thing or a weekly thing depending on the school, the class, and who's facilitating that. We have facilitators that are all over the world that now do this.
That's amazing.
They go through a training and they go into these classes in these schools and they do all this, and it's amazing what it does for people, obviously.
Right.
Yeah.
Talk about the Macy Parade and Rose Bowl.
So Macy's and Rose Parade, so we both at REMO, we sponsor both parades. So we give every band in the Macy's Parade drumheads that are special logo for Macy's every year. And the same thing with the Rose Parade. So we do that where we give every band in the parade Rose Parade heads with the Rose Parade design on it. And then there's also an event 2 days before the parade called Band Fest, which we put on at Pasadena City College. And that's where all the bands that are in the parade come and do an exhibition. And there's about it's 3 shows, so it's a total of about 15,000 people that show up.
Is it almost
for
like a
that.
battle of the bands or battles of the
Yeah,
drum
but it's an
lines now?
exhibition. It's a competition. So
Oh.
each band gets like 20 minutes or whatever, and they do their field show if they want, plus their parade or whatever. And so there's just people that just come watch. There's people that just want to come see it.
Right.
And it's an opportunity for the bands that come, because they're from all over the world.
Yeah.
Right.
They come from
My
China.
school came. My school
What
went
school
to
was that?
I went to Lawrence Central High School,
yeah.
and they won state for.
Yeah, they were here a couple years ago.
Yeah, a couple years
and
ago.
an artist of ours is the drum teacher there, percussion
Oh,
instructor.
at LC at
Yeah.
Lawrence Central.
Steve Yoder, do you know him?
Who?
Steve Yoder.
I don't remember.
But anyway,
Maybe.
but yeah, so, and they're a big BOA band.
I was
and all
in
that
the
stuff.
show
Yeah.
choir. I wasn't
Okay,
in
well, that's
band.
all right. That's all right.
But no,
Yeah.
they were like, our band
they're
was
very
like
good.
gangster.
They're
yeah.
a great program.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Our music program in general, I actually switched schools
Yeah.
because of the arts.
Yeah.
Our program is actually pretty well funded
Yep.
at that school because our dean was an artist,
Yeah.
so he understood the importance of having an artistic outlet. And in our,
I bet you he
Yeah.
probably marched in the drum corps.
I guarantee it.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's amazing how many people that goes back to, like, when you go when I go, I go do visits where I do visit colleges and percussion programs in colleges, and you meet the professor of percussion.
Yeah.
That's teaching the percussion studio. It's like, oh yeah, I marched here and whatever, and then you find out. I mean, people like Jim Riley from Rascal Flatts, he marched drum corps.
Absolutely.
There's
Amazing.
There's a lot of guys that are professional drummers.
Blue Man Group.
Yep.
All from
Oh yeah,
from the
absolutely.
Bugle Corps.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know
Guy,
that.
a friend of mine I marched with, he does Blue Man Group in Florida. He's like the
Wow.
drum set drummer. So there's all kinds of people that you'd be surprised you don't know, and they just where they came
Yeah,
from.
you don't know
Right.
until you talk
Yeah,
with them.
yeah.
And I didn't know Blue Man Group until like I think it was like 2000 or something. Like,
Right.
what, really? And then I wanted to go meet him. I haven't met him
Yeah.
to this day, but I just talked to someone in there, and I forgot that he was in Blue Man Group.
Yeah.
Literally like last week, because I forgot, because I would have mentioned. So even when I'm performing and I'm looking for those films or anything like that, I'm like, did you march on the drum review corps? And you'd be surprised to hear the answer.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
when I'm interviewing celebrities, like with George Clooney, I have my cadet shirt on. Joan Rivers, if you remember, I have my Santa Clara Vanguard. Martha
Right.
Stewart, I'm wearing my 45th anniversary of my Vanguard shirt. So I
Nice.
get a lot of fans reaching out. They think it's kind of cool. And I do that on purpose.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
But I
that's
really,
really
I would be interested in doing something with the autistic kids on that, because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't know about that. That's
Yeah,
intriguing to me.
we can definitely talk about
That's
that.
really
Yeah.
cool. So you guys had some sort of like an engineer come in and make it so that they're not loud?
Well, actually, Remo himself, Remo Belli, who's the founder of the company, that is like his mission, is that he wanted to, once he made his millions of dollars or billions or whatever it is off of drum heads, he just became this advocate for health and facilitating that and finding a way to make instruments that he wanted basically everybody to have an instrument.
Oh,
and
I
have
think
the
that's
opportunity
great.
to have an instrument.
That's cool.
amazing.
So
That's
his
so
wife
beautiful.
is a doctor, his son is a doctor, and he's so connected. Well, he was, but was very connected, and the company is very connected in that whole world that, like I said, the music industry doesn't even see.
Oh,
Because it's a
okay. I'd
completely
like to do
different-
something with that. I like that.
And it's pretty amazing. It's like when we have like a yearly kind of, well, I don't know if you call it a party or an annual thing, and they go through all the different things the company does, and you kind of really look into the deep end of what we really do. It's really amazing when you get to see that. You're just like, wow, this is incredible. And people don't know it, and it's like when they see it, the same thing. Like, it's like you guys just go, what? It's really neat to see all those things that we do that nobody really sees, because it's not about fame or fortune or the rock star drummer. It's about helping humanity, right? And
That's
it's
so cool.
and so
Absolutely.
it's those people. As long as those people experience something, the world doesn't need to know.
That has to
right.
be
It
so
doesn't need to be on
fulfilling.
TV or whatever. It just needs to be for that.
How can people
Yeah.
reach out and find you?
Remo.com is the best way. Go to our website. There's all kinds of information there. There's all the different links to all that stuff, videos, YouTube, everything.
And what do you have coming up?
For me, I'm going to Florida State this weekend to go to a game and visit that program there. I'm doing a week-long tour in Atlanta, and then going up to Alabama. So visiting colleges all week for a week.
Okay.
And then there's the Macy's Parade, then the Rose Parade. We have PASIC, BOA. PASIC's a big drum convention for drummers.
Wow.
Industry
Really?
convention
When's that?
that is the second or third week of November in Indianapolis.
Hey!
So I'll be in your
We should
hometown.
I love it.
I'll
I was
be-
just in Indianapolis and Alabama.
I'll be hanging out in your
It's 2
hometown.
weeks too late, buddy.
Yeah, we got to work this out next
I
time.
know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, and then it's like right in the Rose Parade, and then we have NAMM, which is the major music manufacturer convention, which I'm at every year.
I sang at it last year.
Nice.
She was the reason why I met.
So you gotta
Valencia
come. You gotta
Thomas.
come say hi at our booth.
Yeah,
'Cause
definitely.
and there's all that stuff there. Because then we have all those people there that do all that, the autism and special
So
needs.
cool.
They're there. So come by, definitely
Yeah,
come by.
Of course.
And it's just like a cycle. And then then after that, I'm doing WGI, and then in the DCI, and it just perpetuates itself.
Wow.
It's
I
a
love
hamster
it.
wheel, and it's like you try to run faster, and you just go faster. It
And it
doesn't
works.
stop. It doesn't stop.
It's a
That's the
momentum.
only way to do it.
Yeah.
And you marched with who?
Freelancers.
What year?
87 to 90.
Uh-huh.
Long time ago.
It was fun, wasn't it?
It was great. It was really fantastic.
Best experience on tour was what?
I can't tell you that here.
Okay, we know
Stuff that
then.
happens on the bus. We'll just leave it at that.
Worst experience on tour was what?
Same things. Same stories. No, I don't know. It's the humidity. Like I think, like for me, I never been out of the West Coast. So my first year on tour, it's like I remember waking up and we were somewhere in Iowa or something like that, and I never experienced humidity, and I just felt my skin burning, and I'm like, "What is this?"
Why am
and
I
like,
all wet,
and
but
one
I'm
of the
not sweating?
and one of the guys is like, "Just shut up and get on the field." I'm like, and I'm freaking out, like I had no idea what I was experiencing, right? And it's just like, and in 30 seconds you're drenched in sweat, and you're just like, it is like the worst for the first time, like you. The first time I didn't know because no one tells you what's going to happen.
See,
Right.
we have to back up because when you're marching in a drum and bugle corps, you practice in the hot sun in different states, and you may be practicing from 8 to 12 hours in the middle of a cornfield. At that point, we weren't drinking a lot of water. With how they do stuff now, you might have to stand in attention in the hot sun for an hour and a half with all your equipment on.
Yeah, but that first time I wasn't even like rehearsing it. I literally just walked out of the gym, like
that's true.
Like,
I know what that was like.
I mean, because we got there late at night. You know, it was late at night. Wherever you go to bed, you get up, and I walked out. I wasn't even, and I was like, "What is happening right now?"
It is shocking now.
Oh yeah.
Even now and I lived in humidity for years, and then going back, I'm just like.
You know what the championships are? Indianapolis.
That's right.
And that's where BOA, and there's so much there. I mean, I go there twice a year now.
Yeah.
Twice? 3? Yeah, I don't know. I go there at least twice a year.
There's a lot. Indianapolis is, people don't really know this, but it's actually a really big city.
Yeah.
And it's like it's a big city with not a ton of people.
So are you familiar with Basie's?
What? With Basie's?
Yeah.
What's that?
It's a bar.
Where is it?
It's right next to Lucas Oil.
Oh,
it's a little dive
no.
place. Yeah, that place is.
She doesn't
so
want to
funny.
remember. That's what it is.
Yeah, that place is.
I haven't since I turned 21.
Which was yesterday.
Lived there.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So I would go back and I'll go downtown. I'm trying to think of what the places are in Indianapolis.
The Ram.
Like the
Ram
cigar bar or
Oh,
something.
Nikki Blaine's.
Nikki Blaine's.
Yeah, that place is fun.
Yeah, I like that place.
Yep.
Yeah, there's really cool spots down there actually,
Yeah.
but people think Indiana, cornfields, ketchup, and mustard.
That's what I remember.
It's
Well, that's everywhere
no.
but Indianapolis. That's the rest of.
Okay, you're right. You're
It's
right.
Indianapolis in the center, and it's surrounded by corn.
yeah.
Kat, give you your website and what's going on with you. We got a couple minutes.
Kat Lopez TV on YouTube. Kat with a C-A-T and not Cat TV like Brian
I know.
says
I was so
it.
tired. I made a
It's
mistake.
Kat Lopez TV. I cover everything entertainment, red carpets, fashion events, movie premieres, anything entertainment. You can find me on YouTube, and you can find me on Instagram as Kat Lopez TV as well.
Victoria, website.
VictoriaPlumber.net. Instagram, I'm Victoria Renee Plumber. And YouTube, Victoria Renee Music. Everything else is Victoria Renee Music.
And I have to. The reason she's facing that way because if she turns this way, she'll be blocking Kat. That's right. She's not ignoring anybody. It's not what that is. That's why. Let's talk about fashion. Women in fashion in its business. How tough is it?
It's very demanding.
Yep. Can't wear the same thing twice. You know what that's like, Natalie, right?
We can't eat whatever we want, obviously. You always have to dress in a certain way, and designers are very picky. They're extremely selective about how you wear the clothing line, or even how your nails look, or your makeup.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they say that you better just come without makeup, we're going to take care of you because you're doing it all wrong. So, they're particular about, and it's really about what they're looking for. Sometimes they want girls with curves because I do have a good booty.
Yeah.
And
I've
I
seen it.
go to these auditions and I see all these skinny girls and I'm like, oh, she's gonna get it, and in swimsuit, right?
Yeah.
And then the designer's like, oh, you know what? I think you're best for my line. She looks at me. I'm like, why?
Because you
All of
have
this?
the curves.
Yeah, she says it's good
Of
because
course.
you have all that.
If it's bathing
need
suit,
this.
it's gotta be curvy, right? You gotta show
not necessarily.
body.
Usually
Think
they're
Kardashians.
like
exactly.
the tendency.
clothing. They look like coat hangers. Usually.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm saying.
Yeah.
And it's really, it's particular. Each designer, they have.
Unless
their
it's like
own-
hot Miami styles, then you have curvy girls, but otherwise they're very, very slender.
Yeah, they are super skinny. I don't know what they
Yeah.
eat. I can't do that.
And with that, give your websites one last time because we're out of
Yes,
time.
Ruxanda.
And I have to, Mark, I got to have you come back again, and Natalie when you're done with everything too. Website one last time around.
Okay, so it's ruxanda.com. You can also find me on Instagram, RUXYEU, and Ruxanda on Facebook as well.
Natalie.
NatalieBurn.net, Instagram Natalie-Burn, Twitter NatalieBurn01, Facebook Natalie Burn Official, and my movie The Lagoon or Lagoon Movie on Facebook. Follow us and contribute, and let's make it happen.
a movie.
Mark.
Yes.
REMO.com.
Kat.
Cat Lopez CV everywhere.
Victoria.
VictoriaPlumber.net. You can find all my social on my website, but my Instagram's Victoria Renee Plumber.
And I will see everybody this weekend. I know Dylan got busy doing stuff. He was the CEO of Maxim, calling in to give 2 tickets away to the Halloween party. I'm going to give them away. I've said that. So anyhow, we will see you next week. This is Brian Sebastian, Movie Reviews and More. If you see someone without a smile, I've seen a lot of them. Please give them one of yours. We'll see you next week. And, by the way, you know what? Check out YouTube, Movie Reviews and More. I'm screwing up already. YouTube.com/movie reviews, the letter N more. We will see you next week.
You're listening to Movie Reviews and More with Brian Sebastian, only on LA Talk Radio.